dun. This is why I always have to talk about the audio. And I can't even see if the audio is working on this one. I only see the presentation. So let me know if the audio is working. If you can hear me now. If you can hear me now. I can mute. Let me mute for a second. It's muted. Dave is unmuted. It's weird. Oops. I'm messing with it. It's my fault. But anyways, if you jump in here, let me know. We'll wait for somebody to let me know if the audio is okay. I want to talk about this a little bit. Like I said, it's weird. I don't know why the mic's not working. Let me know it's okay. You can hear me. It's fine. It's clear. It's good. We have the gravitational pull. I wanted to talk to you guys about this strike and what you guys' predictions and stuff are on it. We got banners. This is example. Blah 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 blah. Show. I don't have no banner to show though. Let's go to comments. Rusty says audio is good. Awesome. I'm glad we're back. That's why it's always one of those key things. It's like, can you hear me? Because like I said, I don't see nothing on here bouncing around for showing my audio working. So that's why I always depend on you guys. So thank you, Rusty. So Rusty, since you're in the house, I am thinking, right? I've been pondering this all day when I heard the news coming out for the workers that are on strike, right? And did this affect you, Rusty? Did it affect you when the COVID? Did you have the same kind of problem we did, where it was like probably like a multi-millionaire right now if it would have just had stockpiles and stockpiles of doors, because everything just got like, you couldn't get it, right? People were calling. I mean, we were getting just all kinds of different people calling us, like, you got this garage door. I mean, we're getting builders basically all around the state of Michigan calling us, we're looking for a 10 by 10 door. And so I keep wondering, that strike, you know what I mean? I keep going, my brain's, I hear the TP is kind of depleting in the stores right now. I think bananas, they said bananas might be something. And I don't know, like I said, I had a little bit for tonight and I just kind of thought about it. I thought, I thought it'd be kind of cool just to see what your guys' thoughts are on it. Audio's good. No, Clope has non-union guys, and they worked. And if they didn't like it, they go elsewhere. Wow. So Clope had no problems with you. Now, see, our Clope up here, they had problems. Like things were. They normally get stuff to us like 3 to 6 weeks. Every vendor up here in Michigan was 6 months to a year. That's how long it took. Let's see what Rusty's got here. During COVID, you're right. If you had doors, you could have charged whatever. Oh man, it was crazy. I was literally going around the state of Michigan picking up doors that were in like storage units, dirty. If you go back into some of my old videos, I got videos of me cutting doors down. I got videos of me insulating doors. I was building a lot of doors for a lot of the builders. Just keep them moving. Da-da-da. Ooh, we pick up everything direct, same day if we want. Nice. Yeah, I just keep wondering about this strike. You know what I mean? Like, what else is it going to impact if it keeps going on, right? Because we're kind of talking. They're saying it might, it might be a couple days, might be a week, might be 2 weeks, might be 3 weeks. Probably, I don't think it's going to get over until like 3 or 4 weeks, but you never know. Like I said, my guess is it'll be, give it a good 5-7 days, and they're going to probably figure out something. Is my guess. But I just keep wondering. I go, what's on those cargoes? That could impact us. A shortage of boards. What's gonna increase inflation? Is this part of the plan because of the election coming up? Is this something underlying? It's kind of interesting. I'm curious. I'm just curious. So far, nothing. But like I said, you know how it is. I just have been hearing a little bit on the old Facebook world. People are like, the TP's gone already. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, why does it always got to be the TP? Just like, I feel like it's the most embarrassing joke, uh, for America. Like, if there's something going on in America, they run for the TP. Uh, all right. Yeah, that's right. Going back Haiti another week. It won't affect me. Nice. Nice. Yeah, probably, like I said, I don't get too hyped up about it too much anymore. I just like to know what other people, maybe they know some inside, like, all of a sudden somebody calls them, kind of says, hey, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a shortage or something. I wonder if it's another way to kind of jack things up, inflation. It's always funny how everything kind of always goes up, but never comes back down. It'll come down maybe a little bit, right? Like I'm kind of glad at least steel prices have stabilized for the most part. Because it was really weird how it went from our vendor for fencing. It used to be 30 days. 30 days, I think it went down to like 20 days, then it went to 15 days. And then it turned out to be like 24 hours. So I remember I was doing quotes when the cough center was going around, and I'd have to be like, you got to give me a yes or no right now on this to make this locked in for a price. So it's always kind of curious. Bam. Must have lost that. Where's that one? Just looking here. Like I said, since it's pretty quiet too, I might play around a little bit with this. You can stop the cam. How do you stop the cam? Oh. If I stop the cam, there's there's still audio. Okay. Interesting. Settings. Ooh, we can do a virtual background. Oh, heads up. Need a green screen. No green screen. What'd you work on today, Rusty? Did you work on anything resis? Let's see if I can. No, I can't jump on that. No, I'm just kind of curious. So I've really been thinking about it a little bit. I forget how many people they said too of the strike that's going to be affected. How many of those workers? Sounds like one dude. They were showing one dude on the news. He got beat up trying to get in there. I think we'll see how it affects things. It's kind of a bummer. We had a group. We had a rush of group of guys there for a second. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, got the Brazilian hot dog 724, man. I've been liking your videos. I've been kind of catching up on them. They're pretty cool. You got some good stuff, man. Love it. I seen your I don't know, it was a post or something today about those clips. I'm cleaning off the windshield there, I guess. On those clips for those circuit boards. I always use electrical or pinch them. I think they could come up with something better. They used to have ones that had studs. They are like little blocks. And you take like your screwdriver, and that's how I used to. Those were nicer. I definitely would say those were nicer. What's Rusty got here? Had a customer who had a heart surgery a week ago. Oh man, wife told him not to come into the garage. Well, he was standing on the door when I put it up today, and the top section came out and almost hit him. Let's see, it says here. Dang, dude, those garage doors. It's kind of weird, like talking about somebody and kind of like their good health. I ended up I bought a house. This was quite a few years back, and it was kind of weird. The reason I bought this house, it had 4, 5, 6, 7. It had 7 garage doors on the property, and every garage door needed to be replaced. There were old wood ones and just a couple, maybe one metal one or something. And I kept telling myself when I was going to purchase the house, I kept thinking, I said, this house really needs a garage door guy. I mean, there's 7 garage doors on this property, and so I ended up fixing them. Right. Well, I found out later on that the doctor that used to own the house, he actually was lifting up a door. It sounds like maybe he was fixing it. I don't know, because there was an opener, as far as I know, on it. So I don't know if it malfunctioned or maybe it didn't have openers. I don't know. And he ended up passing away at the garage door. I was like, what? So I was like, is that good? Is this voodoo? That's just weird? Like, sold 3 doors, changed an overhead, did a torsion spring install. Nice. I got a box I'll have to open up. I bought some from Amazon. I bought some springs to try them out. Cheap, man. Cheap, I think. But they even give you winding bars. I think they even got little grippies on. We'll see when I do open up box on it. Brazilian, what's he got? Mr. Last live stream, but intrigued by the title. Is LiftMaster really bringing L5 back? Yeah, where are you located? I'm curious too. Yeah, as far as I know, Logic 5 is coming back. I wonder what the price is going to be. It's going to be the same price. Dang, you're in Brazil? I would have thought you're in the States, honestly. I mean, it kind of says it, in your title of your name. And you're getting all these openers. You got all these kind of openers over there. They seem like such American openers, American made. Is that real common over there for those openers? Or are they kind of like what's a real common brand over there? Just the same as over here, I guess. I mean, no, I love your videos, man. I love them on the openers and some of the AC units. Like, I didn't realize they had the anti-vibration stuff in there, the mounts or whatever. And now the fact that I watched one of your videos and you say they sound like a vacuum cleaner sucking on some of these DC openers. Every time I listen to one run, I'm like, yeah, that does sound like a vacuum sucking, or it sounds like a vacuum cleaner. I don't remember. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I just put up that Chamberlain the other day, and it was super light. 10-foot rail, one hand over the shoulder. Didn't even need 2. It was so light. So it was pretty crazy. So I'm not very good with names, so don't hold me to it. My memory is always not the best. But what for the Brazilian hot dog, what's your first name? I'll write this in here. And like I said, if anybody's cruising through too, don't forget, if you would, just hit the like button to bring more like-minded people in. And you're more welcome to ask any questions. Rich is in the house. Rich, I was going to send you the Batman signal. I was thinking about it, but it was kind of late. Like I said, this was just kind of a impromptu one. I just said, there he is. There's the man. Let's see here. What's this one? Let's see what this is. That's not what I was trying to do. Bang. There we go. Maybe we'll get a little better one for the back. Andy. Perfect. There you go. I should look familiar, Andy. What? Rich says, is this true, Andy? What is that? Aluminum? Is that true? Oh my gosh, I didn't see that. Okay, I got you. Man, you fooled me, man. I was like, really? It's like, dude. It's like, how are you getting all this? You got somebody inside shipping crap to you? That was a good one. Minnesota. Andy's over there. Gotcha. So you deal with some winners. I think you have worse winners than us over here in Michigan. Would you agree? Would you agree or disagree? And winners are tough. So Andy, have you experienced any on these newer the Chamberlain / Liftmaster? I swear, I think actually you had a video. I think you had a video that showed the internals of one of the DC motors. Um, have you been seeing failures? What's the common failure? I mean, I think we know like there's a traveler board on it, the circuit board, but the motors themselves. Like I'm wondering, because I think they still do the lifetime warranty on them, don't they? I just feel like I haven't been around enough of the Chamberlain / Liftmaster to know what these newer units, what the problems are. Some of them, I know a few of them, but like I can think of like the Genies. I've been around the Genies quite a bit. The residential, we had the red light of death. That was always a common one. Haven't had that experience in a while. And we had the RPM sensor recently. That was a big woof. But I don't really remember like motors. I still been thinking about the Genie, the new style Genie with the screw drive. Haven't replaced a trolley or anything on one of those yet. But my memory doesn't serve me enough to go, are they 6 years now old? Are they 8 years, 10, 15? Maybe they're just not up to date yet to expire. What you got here? Also good to hear about the L5s. Yeah, those Maxims aren't good for much. He says we installed a 22 by 14 3-inch thick door last week. There's no way a Maxim would have been able to handle it. Dang, man, that's a big door. That's right up there in Tanner's category. Yeah, that's a big boy. That is a big boy. Gosh, almost when you get to 22, isn't that getting close to being a dual trolley? No, so let's see here. It says I can't say I've ever seen an AC motor fail, but I've seen plenty of failed DC motors. See, okay, now that's what I'm trying to get at, because like same here. I always thought that was the gimmick, right? It always when I was installing, for like 07, 08 era, those models, with the mechanical limits on the side and stuff. They always put on there, lifetime warranty. I always thought that's a gimmick, but if you, it's lifetime warranty on the motor, you know what I mean? And like most people didn't understand that. They'd be like, oh, it's lifetime, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's just go with that. And, but like I said, I've never personally ever seen an AC. I think I've, maybe seen a couple hand, I don't think I can count over these two hands, maybe even just one hand, capacitors, the gear kits, obviously, but that's what I'm curious about. You've seen plenty of DC motors. Now, I haven't seen them, but we haven't ran a lot of Liftmaster. We're kind of going back to them a little bit because Genie's kind of having some issues, and that's what Cap wants to do. And that's fine. I'm always just, like I said, I'm always the guy that's just looking for the cleanest shirt and the dirty laundry basket. because they all got problems. And so I'm just looking for the one that's going to give us the least amount of callbacks. That's all I care about. But the DC motors, I've been wondering, because I thought, don't you have a video out there that shows? I mean, whoever had it, wherever they took it, I was like, "Ooh, that thing looked horrible! Like it looked gnarly and dirty." And I thought, ugh. And I'm a little bit old school, so like the old LiftMasters, like with the gear kit, I can live with that. You get 10, 12, 15, 20 years, depending on how much they use it. You replace a gear kit in it. You throw some grease in it, away she goes again. I can live with that. I don't know what a DC. Does anybody know what a DC motor costs? Andy? Like to replace? Is it $50, 60, 120, $200? Also, LiftMaster Resi openers all have 12-volt motors. Linears have 24-volt motors, and Genie have 24 and 140-volt motors. Interesting. I guess, Andy, if there's anything you can elaborate more on that too, what you think about the 12-volt. I mean, is it just it's just not as powerful, so it's underpowered in a sense? I think somebody, I don't remember who was telling me how the Genies have the 24, and then there's the 140 volt. It sounds like the 140 volt was the one that's more the gray-headed unit. That was the better one. That's the one I've always kind of experienced better luck with, and I just didn't know if it was something in my head or what was going on. But I've had more black-headed Genie units give me problems than I did the gray ones. Not that the gray ones never did, but I don't understand. I guess what I'm, I don't know what like the 12 volt, and why, I guess in a sense, why they're cheaper for batteries. Rusty's guys, I'm waiting for the new LiftMaster LED panels and cameras start going out in the residential units, and we go from crash to repairman to camera. Oh man, I love that one. There you go. Cheers to that one. I know, it's like I feel like we're gonna turn into the cable repairman. We're gonna have the tool belt on, and all kinds of crazy stuff, because it's part of the reason why I'm not really interested in them. I'm pretty sure Andy had a video. He was talking about how you can't turn the camera anymore because they were breaking the wire. And so, like I said, if anybody's even just cruising through on the live here later, check out Andy's videos. Man, he's got some great stuff on residential. He can really teach you. He's actually teaching me a lot, because when I watch his videos, I'm like, whoa! I'm like, didn't realize that, didn't know that. So I'm learning a lot. It's good stuff. I think just like I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, Andy, you do a really good job, because you go down to very detailed things. So like the wall button, when you were talking about how they got rid of the second click, I found that fascinating. I was like, that's like, really? You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that like would keep me up at night. You know what I mean? Because I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, did something change? Or was that never there? You know what I mean? Like I hate that feeling when it's like, no, I think this used to do this, but this doesn't do it. It was kind of like when we were way out in the boonies. We're halfway in the center of Michigan, and I remember the guy that I was working with. The wall button came in; it was damaged. Something wasn't quite right with it, and he's like, I remember when he flat out told me, he goes, this thing won't work without that wall button. I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm like, I've done, a lot of, not that model, but a lot of LiftMaster. And so we put it up there, and I was like, watch this. Took 2 hours, I'm touching it. I'm like, son of a biscuit. I'm like, it doesn't work. And I'm like, do you got one on your truck? And he's like, no, actually. He goes, I used one the other day, or, a week ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, are you kidding me? And what do you do when all there is like an Ace Hardware around? You can't just go get a doorbell. I was so bummed. So we literally had to make a whole nother trip out there. No, I starfall too, right? Should have had, that's why sometimes you go out far away, you need to carry two head units, just for that reason. But it's kind of a bummer because you start carrying two head units, and sometimes, especially if you got employees, one does the Houdini, one fell out of the truck, one went in the ditch somewhere. Things just do weird things. So I think the LED panels cost at least $120 bucks. Like I said, I don't think I've had really too many people back me up on this, but I'm really believing in my heart that it's better. It's better just to just replace it. I'm to the point now. I really believe you just throw that thing down into back into the box if it's still got some kind of warranty. Just install another one. You know what I mean? Like repairing these things, unless you're full committed. And I don't know how much of this stuff is compatible. You know what I mean? It seems like there's so many different models, the head units. Anybody even knows like the new LiftMaster? Was it like one board will do all of them right now? Because some of them have dual headlights, one has one headlight. What's this one got? Andy's got. He says, I don't really know how the math works out, but more voltage gives a motor more power or torque or something. He says, I've seen 140 volt genies lift very heavy stuff. Well, that's good. I'm glad at least, it kind of makes sense, right? I just didn't know if there was more, how like some of that voltage stuff can be really like, what is it? Like, I think of the old tractors, like a 6 volt, it still does the same job. It just grunts a little more. And then you get like, you go to 12 and it sounds a little more peppy, a 12 volt system. And then depending on what you're doing with gearing and stuff like that, it works. So it's kind of like, I'm like, does it really whatever? But obviously I believe you, you know what I mean? Makes more sense, right? I'm trying to think though. What's up, Eric? How you doing? Did you work on anything today? Did you play hooky? Eric says hello. Also, too, I should put it out there. In your area, if you got any, wives, the girlfriends, moms, dads, whoever, right? Anybody seen any kind of the shortage anywhere you're at? If you have, obviously, put down like a state, since the strike is going. Are you missing? I think it was down in Arizona. I thought I seen one that somebody was like, "Well, we're out of TP," and I'm thinking, "Oh, down in Arizona, they're already out of TP, huh?" Anything else, that anybody's seen? What's there? Andy got here. Always make sure to tell people the horsepower rating on DC inverters doesn't matter, especially for the Chamberlains, since they all use the same exact motor. That's interesting. And it's kind of funny that you say that, Andy, because Sunday I helped Caleb install a opener. It was a Chamberlain. I don't know what the model was on the box, but the customer flat out told me, well, I figure it being a 10 by 10 door. And of course, what does the customer want to do? He wants to insulate it. He's like, got any recommendations how to insulate it? And I'm like, you should have bought an insulated door. But anyways, he's like, I figured a half would probably be okay, but I went 3/4, and I just kind of was like, I was thinking about that where I was like, I think there's something about that where it really like doesn't matter anymore. So I was kind of like, oh yeah, I was like, 3/4, it can't hurt to have something bigger, which that's what I was kind of thinking. But it sounds like I said, they probably use, it didn't feel any heavier. It didn't feel any bulkier. It didn't feel stiffer. It didn't sound any different. It sounded like the vacuum cleaner still. Oh, dang, dude. I mowed someone's grass, worked on an old fan for one of my friends. Nice. I got the fan that you recommended. Eric, still by my bed. Works just fine and dandy. I appreciate it. We're kind of like one of those fan families, you know. Kids like to have them, stuff like that. They like the background noise, goofy stuff. But the Amazon fans don't last very long. And what do you expect, right? They're Amazon. So what else? What else is in that head of Andy's? I am kind of curious. Andy's got some knowledge on those. I believe, isn't it, Andy? Don't you like, you kind of prefer the genies, don't you? Let's see, what's he got? What's he got? How much rolling steel you do these days? We just did a 2x5 delivered today. I don't do a lot of rolling steel. We get some fire doors here and there occasionally, but if I had to guess, maybe one every like 2 to 3 months for the rolling steel. And we basically don't do any of the storage unit doors, those real skinny ones. We pretty much throw those all. We don't want nothing to do with them. What there got? There, guys. The field of 12 motors are garbage, in my opinion. He says they always sound like they're struggling. Those 140 volt genies, 3/4s are awesome. You know, you might be right with that, because you know, when maybe that's why I'm so like, I really like the whole screw drive, those genies, because man, they just I mean, they're fast. They're, like you said, they're powerful. And that chamber that we did install, it's kind of got that weird kind of, it's kind of got that weird. It did the job. It worked. Don't mind me. Ask away. I'm just typing for a second. Just playing around. Oops, I did something wrong. But I appreciate, like I said, I like this kind of stuff. This is great. This is great having this kind of information. Because like I said, one of you guys helped me out a lot with the whole, I didn't know the black and the gray headed genies, there was a difference. It's kind of one of those things, like, unfortunately, I'm not real smart when it comes to some of that stuff. I just install stuff. I install it, and then I start giving it time. And when I start having problems, I'm like, this ain't going to work, because I got to go back to this stinking thing. You know what I mean? Like, I could be out producing other stuff. Rusty's guy says, how many service calls does your company try to schedule per day? So from the way I understand it, they do Mondays and Fridays is basically the residential. And so since we are so commercial based, we can be at a commercial job all day, just depending on how many doors, how much fencing, how much gates. So it really varies, like I said. And that's why sometimes I always feel like a lone duck. I feel like a lone duck out here sometimes, like the stream yard, like the little duck up there. Because like I said, for me, it's hard sometimes. I mean, I kind of got a gist of it a little bit. I got a taste of it from years of experience. Um, but like for the most part, like I said, we haven't advertised in years. And like I said, we got, in a nutshell, we have so much residential. You could probably hire another tech or two right now. Um, but that involves more trucks, more payroll, more, here's how I always look at it too, and I'm just kind of weird about it. Every time we touch something, it's a liability. Every time. Every time. If the technician pulls up on there and they leave, a couple drops of oil in the driveway, the customer, something happens, you know, it's liability. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always like, you're almost better off doing less. Rusty does a good job. He charges good for his stuff. So, but that's also why I'm always really funny about the whole trip. Like you're traveling. Traveling can be really devastating, especially can you imagine if you go out and do something, or like when we went out to the middle of state, when we're by Lake Michigan, we go out to the middle of state of Michigan, and the wall button, we don't have one on the truck, we don't have a backup one, and there's nobody around. We're doing it like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We just started the job, won't leave till 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, where are you gonna get a wall button? Like there was no Lowe's or Home Depot around for miles and miles. So it just all kind of depends. They do, you know how it is with like employees. It's hard to schedule, because you don't know how long the job's gonna take. Because I know I go to jobs all the time, and it's like, I'm like, is this gonna be a 2-hour job or is this gonna be a 6-hour job? Like, I don't know. What's Rich got? Rich says horsepower should not matter as long as the door is properly balanced. Good perspective. I like that. That is true to some degree, right? But I think there's a mass, right? There's a certain mass. That's why garage doors also have like there's certain, like it only goes up to 18 by 8, right? Because there's a huge mass. I think I mentioned it on another video. I did. There's another video that'll come out eventually. But it's like, am I the only one? But like, I'm telling you what, man. Like when you go to 18-foot wide doors, I don't know what it is. And I don't know if this is just in my brain. This was even an 18 by 7? Most time I come across a lot of 18 by 8s. But I tell you what, when you go 18-foot wide, I don't know what it is, but it's like, to me, it's like that bastard child, right? It's like that bastard size. Like the doors always feel like they're doing funny things to me. It feels luggish. It feels like, even though you got torsion springs on it, it does not feel right. Now you go to 16. I'm used to 16s, right? 16s just seem like they run. I guess what I'm trying to describe it as is like, it's like maybe like a V8 versus a V6. You know what I mean? And the V6 would be the 18-foot wide door, and the V8 would be the 16-foot. You know what I mean? A little different, but man, I just tell you, I worked on this door, and I kept thinking this door works like crap. And I ended up, I measured it out. And went, oh, well, that's why. I said it's 18 foot. And I remember I had a customer that an 18 by 8, and I mean, he had a little like a Chamberlain chain drive on that thing. That thing just always was like, watching it. And I was just like, oh, like, I just can't. I mean, it kept working. So I just let it be. But we went out there. He used that door so much. We went through, they might have been out there again since I've been, but I even upcycled them 3 times in a sense, whatever it was, because I mean, we come see them like every 3 to 5 years. They just had a lot of kids. They always used it for getting the mail, everything. And I was like, please, just go use the side door. But I just didn't know if anybody else ever experienced an 18-foot wide versus 16. 16s just feel like that's the crest, baby. Do-do-do-do. Oh, Andy says, I prefer the linear actually. So I got one for my big door when my LiftMaster broke. He says, I don't regret it. It's quieter than any DC LiftMaster I've ever heard. Nice. Andy, you got a video on your linear? We were installing some linear, but right at the tail end of linear, we kind of lost our sales rep guy, and then it just hard for us to get them. It seems like it's just more of a pain in the butt. But they did something kind of funny with their keypad. Like they had like a blue light on it or something, and their photo eyes and I think the remotes even, they just always felt kind of chintzy to me. I can't really say I ever had any problems with the linear except for the commercial ones. The commercial ones, I think those things were no good. The residential ones, though, the price was right. I think they were our lower end one. We had it was like, I don't know if we went like linear. I think we had 2 models of LiftMaster for a while there. So, I think actually Cap is it the Marantec? He's gonna try some of the Marantec. Told him, I probably won't like the programming. I didn't like the programming, but the one I had that put through a torture test never failed. The light stunk on it, but it held the limits. It worked. It did the job. I mean, it never failed in. Only issue I've ever had with 3024 is a red light of death. They don't like power surges. No, anything. If somebody if people already tell me like they're going to have problems, like they're like, oh, we get a lot of power outages. I'm like, like Genie might not be the way to go. You know what I mean? Like, and some people, I think Cappy's even doing it here. He's putting surge protectors, and I don't know about those surge protectors. If they, it's never been enough where you went back to the customer, right? Because you know how it is, right? The customer's going to call you back when they have a problem. So, I mean, if it never gets zapped, it's like, you don't know. They don't call you and say, hey, you put a surge protector on it. It worked because our TV, our microwave, and our fridge got zapped, but not the garage door opener. Good job. It's just one of those things you're like, oh. Eric's guy says, so about 75 commercial, he says, I do residential. I don't feel comfortable messing with something that nasty myself. The commercial, I think it's a weird balance. It really is when it comes to it. Because, you think about it, right? I kind of reverted back to the residential, kind of in a nutshell, because if I go in the commercial, those guys know me so good. They'll like entrench me. You know what I mean? And then it'll be like, hey, can I get your phone number? Hey, can I, this, and this. And I'm the type when I listen to certain things, like I got to take it to heart, because I still get a few through the back, the back phone in a sense, the back door, let's just say, that will contact me, and I'll either have to address it, or what I'll do is, I'll let Cap know, and he'll get it handled too. You know what I mean? And he's the same way. He wants to make sure they're always taken care of. But oh, there's your lady. The nice thing is that, like I said, what I really like about the commercial, and like I said, this is just one of those things, in my opinion, is that what I've noticed, right, is it's normally better money. It's not coming directly out of their pocket. Also, typically, whoever's kind of there in general is willing to work with you, right? We're all on the same path. We're all maintenance people. We're all contractors. We're all whatever. The hey man, can I borrow that forklift? Go for it. You know what I mean? Not every place, but everybody's kind of the same path. And what I've learned a little bit in my head, what I tell myself anyways, is I go that somebody had to earn that position, right? Like typically when I go to these commercial stuff, there's not an 85-year-old or 95-year-old or 100-year-old person running the place, right? It's the people in the 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe the 60s. that are qualified in a sense, right? Like, but like when you go to residential it's coming, at least this is just for my general area. Residential is coming directly out of their pocket. So they're really hawk-eyeing you. And so like for instance, I was working at one Sunday, helping Caleb. The customers got their dog out there. And I love dogs. Dogs are great, you know what I mean? But this dog will not stop with this ball. Man, I just keep chucking it, the dog brings it back. So it's some kind of retriever. It's a great dog, really nice dog. But it's just one of those things that now when we go to take action, it's like, hey, the dog can't be crossing the photo eye. It's gonna, and I got somebody I'm kind of semi-training basically, which is Caleb. He's up on the lift, whatever. Programming this, and the dogs, and I'm like, and so there's more complexity to it. The homeowner guy, he was there. He was a nice guy, but he's like, already trying to get the MyQ fired up, and it's like, I think he asked about moving. He had some kind of car lift in there. He was asking about moving it, and I said, man, we were going to use that to hang the opener and work off. And he's like, well, I got inspection Monday, so I got to get it down for this. And it's like, well, okay, then maybe the communication wasn't that good. Maybe we shouldn't have came today, but it is Sunday. And, if it's an 18-8 or bigger, that's when I go to, or with a 3/4 horse or the 140 volt Genie. It's just, like I said, it's just something weird. I'm just telling you, when you go 18 foot wide, I don't know what it is. Every time I touch an 18 foot, unless it's brand spanking new, this one had 3 struts on it, and it's only 7 foot tall. So it was missing 1 strut basically. And I tell you what, I could feel it. I had to move the strut on the section. I could feel something was funny in the door, but it still just didn't feel, and I oiled it down, and it was dirty. It was a dirty girl, but I don't know. Rusty's guy, I just ordered 18x8 on Monday. Oh, homeowner drove the Suburban through it. Ooh. I wind coated it because I wanted extra support. Maybe that's what I got to do. You know what I mean? You just talk to the secretary or whatever. Instead of saying, make sure you strut the whole thing, just tell them, say it needs to be like the minimum wind load or something like that. Maybe that's the way to word it so it gets struts, because I can't tell you how many times it irritates me. It really does. I don't know. I'm just weird like that. But like when I get to a job, you know what I mean? It's like, how it is. It's like you're at war with yourself, right? It's like you just want to go. And when I got to sit there and look at the struts, and then when I even go through the manual or anything, right? Because they don't give you like a really good manual. Typically, it's a very generic. And so like, and I've had it because I've had it where I've been, we've had, 4, 5, 6 guys in a row working on their own doors, and we're stacking doors, right? And then it's like, if they're just not all strut, also one guy puts a strut on the bottom. Well, that's where I think it goes, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, look, we got to make them all look uniform. Oh man, you did yours with a sticker on it. You know what I mean? Like, so that's going to be off if they look back. And I tell you what, I got some builders I've worked for that when they come in, they're walking through with the customer, right, in the suit and everything, in the tie, they'll look at that and they're like, and he'll be like, hey, what is that? Why is that a sticker up there like that? Like, you guys had to place it right there? And it's like, well, we didn't place it. That's where the manufacturer put it, and that's just. I mean, it's a section. It's a section of a section. It doesn't. But can you fix that? How do you now I got holes in it. Whatever you try to take the sticker off. Yeah, right. Some of those stickers are. So it's just like where I look at it and I just go, everything gets struts. That's why I also looked at. I used to like the. I still do for certain occasions. I like the thermal spans because they're all built in. No thinky. Just put a metal one across the top. Good old advertising. They're hitting hard. Momentum is different between big and small doors. So Eric, I'm glad you brought that up because I was just thinking about this. I've had personal houses and stuff, but I was thinking about it. And I thought, I've been very, you think about it, and I'm not a fan, right? You go 9x7. I think nowadays you really minimum got to go 10x7, right? You got to go 10x7 because if you got to, even if you get a truck that's like a Super Duty truck with the mirrors on it, 9 foot is stinking tight. You got to go 10 foot wide, 10x7. I mean, obviously you want to go bigger. 10x8 would be perfect, right? Even bigger is bigger, 10x10. But I would agree. You know what's nice about those doors having different sizes to them like that is I've noticed, for one, when you break them down, like you do 9x7s, the openers don't have to work so hard, right? Those openers last a lot longer than they do on a 16x7 because somebody breaks a spring, and that's normally when they put the strain on it, right? And that's when it's kind of at its end of its life. So little doors are kind of nice sometimes. They last longer, but the momentum, I get it. Ooh, my next video Andy's got will be an update, 18-month. That'd be cool. Heck yeah, man. Let me know when it comes out. I'll be looking for it. That'd be pretty cool. Because I haven't played with linear in quite a while. You know what I mean? So I'd kind of like to see another linear install right now, or maybe a make and model, which is a good one because we were buying them by the skid, and I don't remember any of them being bad. I know the photo eyes seemed like they were kind of, they almost reminded me of a little bit of like an extreme photo eye, if I remember right. But they worked. The remotes, I feel like I didn't like the remotes the best or something. I didn't like the keypad, I thought. Eric says, in California, he says they are always power surges and brownouts. That is the main reason why they all got battery backup over there. Ooh. Isn't that a little nugget? I like that. That does not surprise me. That's a good point. That's a good point. Andy said, I got to head out early morning tomorrow. Enjoy the stream as always. Awesome, Andy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the intel, too. Like I said, keep up the videos, man. You got some good ones. So that's awesome. Definitely even informing old Uncle Dave here. Otherwise, have a good night. So as Eric says, have a good night, Andy. What's Rich got? It's law in Cali that they must be battery backup. Yeah, how long has that been now? Like 3-5 years? I remember hearing that. And I was thinking about Mr. SOS. Because I'm trying to think. Isn't it Sky? Is it Sky? I think it's Sky. Did Sky jump in here at all? Let me look. I don't think Sky was here tonight, but I think Sky's over in California too. Which says it's law. With a new opener, what's more likely to cause random operation? Bad button or remote or bad board. Ooh, boy. With an opener, cause random operation, bad button, bad board. Man, that's a great question. Copay app. I don't think I really know Evan on that. Like I said, I just know the. So like here's an example, right? So the one we did Sunday, right? It's the newer Chamberlain. It's got the learn, where you do your button up and down, and then it does this automatic beep, and it's doing its force settings and stuff. I could see where it was pretty nice for Caleb, because I told him, I was like, hey, it's gonna start beeping. I was like, I didn't know they do that anymore, or they're doing that. I said, so just let it do its thing. And I think one of the pitfalls, maybe I'm missing something, but it went through its whole cycle. And we didn't have it tight enough to the ground, right? Because I typically leave it, that 1/2 inch cushion because it always traveled a little farther on its down. So we didn't have it. I was like, man, this is a bummer. We got to go through all the settings again, which is not the end of the world, but it just, I'm sitting here in my brain because I'm psychologically brainwashed from back in the day when I did my first by myself, and I overheated the unit. And all I got in my head right now is going, these units are built cheaper. They're DC motors. Do they have that? Do they get hot like the ACs? And it's going to shut down on me. And now it's a 10-foot door, so it's got even more travel to it. Where a good old mechanical limit, right? You'd bring it up a foot, give her a little quarter turn, whatever, bring it back down, and so anyways, we reset the whole thing, right? But this guy didn't have consistent power out there. And he was saying already that he was going to have to shut the power off because he had to rewire something. And I'm just like, ooh, man. I was like, I am scared to death that this thing might lose its limits. And I just thought, man, if I had the old mechanical limits, do whatever you want, buddy. You want to unplug it? Here, let me give you the cord. You can play with it even. Plug in. You can play with it. You can unplug it for 2 months, 2 years. I don't care. You come back, it's going to be there. I guarantee it. But these new ones, I don't know if there's a certain cycle you got to go. I don't know if they got to be turned on for so long. I don't know. All I know is I've had issues with a guy with a horse barn. I installed them. I come back, one door's up like 3/4 away, another door's up only 1/4 away. And before I got out there to start working on it, he told me, he goes, this is how those doors go. And I went, that's as high as the doors are going. I sure as heck did not program them that way. And so I'm sitting there, doing the whole scratch in my head. And I'm like, what changed? And I said, did you shut the power off? He goes, well, yeah. He goes, I've been shutting the power off. He says, it's a horse barn. He goes, I don't want to walk out there sometimes, shut the lights off. So I just hit the breaker at the house. You can't do that, dude. Not with these. But like I said, it doesn't seem like it's not always the case, right? I don't have to order through as a secretary. I have Clopay app on my phone and can pick every option. It gives me options for different amounts of struts, and will change the springs needed automatically, which is super nice. I like that, Rusty. Like I said, I know it changes. Like I always just would tell the secretary, like, look, strut the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not playing around. Just sometimes that'd always be a question. Well, do you want 2 struts, 3 struts? Just strut the whole thing. You know what I mean? Because you know how it is. If you're there, I've been there where it's like you're like, man, this looks stupid. You know what I mean? Like you stack the door. It's just one of those buildings, right? Everything is always about the situation, right? You just don't know until you get there, and you're like, to me, it's all like energy. It's voodoo. Like you get there until I get my tools out and I'm starting to kind of listen to how the employees are talking around there and the owner and this is this one door. This is a showpiece. They're going to be doing something over here. Blah 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 blah. Holy cow, we're stacking the door. It's super windy. Whatever. And it's like you add those 2 struts, and now the door is off. And it's like, this is stupid. It's like I would eat the cost. Like I'm not worried about a couple struts and the spring being upcycled a little bit. Whatever, man. It's whatever. It's a couple $100, whatever. I don't care about that. I want it to be. I like when I'm done. I want to look good. I want to look uniform. I want to look nice. Eric says, Wayne Dalton has to bring back the TS200. I would perfect for an 18x8. As one, I pulled the Stanley off. It's lasted 30 years somehow. But put the good old 3024. I'm just kind of curious, Eric. Why did you say that? What's going on with the TS200? TS200 is still around, right, for Wayne Dalton? I thought they haven't gotten rid of that. I thought they got the TS125, got the TS150, then we got TS200. I think there's a TS300, which is the 3-inch. I think. But don't be telling me they got rid of the 200, no. Eric says, anyone here from Cali? Rusty says, evidence the wall button. So they had the 98022 that do that to me a few weeks ago. The wall button. And see, it I don't know for sure, but I don't know if that's kind of goes back to what Andy was talking about with the 2 clicks. There's 2 clicks on the wall button that they got rid of. LiftMaster Sounds like they made it a little cheaper. So like I said, you have to check out, some of his videos. He's got some good stuff on that. Like I said, I don't know if that's part of the problem. I don't know if they're getting torqued down. I know sometimes you torque them down, that can be problematic, right? It says if it's gonna open on its own, it's almost always bad button. Just talk to LiftMaster about it. Ooh, that's good to know. That's crazy. So for Caleb, what I did for his job, I was a little nervous. I didn't realize that Lowe's, if you go to a light department, they got like two options. You go over to the garage door sections, they got the Genie light bulbs. And then, excuse me, over in there, I was looking for some different light bulbs, and I found that they actually had light bulbs that were by GE, and that they were, that they said they're garage door capable. They're made, just for garage door. But I'm curious too, if anybody on here, what are you guys experiencing with the LED bulbs? Because I'm scared crapless on the LED bulbs because it looks like they changed the packaging again. Like at Lowe's, where we used to buy this one brand, and I'm pretty sure the same, but the packaging changed a little bit. It's not the same colors and stuff, and that spooks me. And with this job that I helped Caleb on Sunday with, it's like I said, it's all of 45 minutes, an hour away for him driving one way. It's the same probably for me. And with it being a steel building, I was nervous about interference of any sort. Now, mind you, this guy's got some of those. I don't know what they're like they look like this. They're like a canister, right? And then you must stick in some outlet or whatever. And they're lights, they're LEDs, like they're illuminated all the way around. Like something you get from wherever, Menards, Lowe's. And he's telling me, he goes, man, I hope I don't have problems with that. And I'm like, now what I didn't do is I didn't validate. I didn't go outside and play with it. We kind of had, you guys, if I get the video, you'll see how we got one drop. We ran out of angle, and we got one drop, like a goofy kicker on it, just to get it up, to get it off the ground. You have to see the video. And but anyways, I just didn't want him to say, hey, the range on this, and I have to sit there and scratch my head on the LEDs. So I'm just curious if you guys are using a certain light bulb, you're just rolling with it. You're like, whatever, man. I just install whatever LEDs and I have no problem. Do you do the curly Q ones? I don't know what the technical term is, but the ones that look like a pigtail light bulbs, like those, or no, I don't do those. I think LiftMaster finally came out at one point and said that those are okay, but I'm not using them. Like I had problems. I had them kicking doors open, just randomly on people. Nope. So I was, even when I was at Lowe's, I was trying to find the old impact lights, like for like a shop light that can take, more rugged. And I didn't look super hard. I did kind of a scan. There were some people kind of in my way. But then what scared me is, I don't have the package, but on the package of the bulbs that I had at home, if you read the fine print on the one edge of it, it talks about how this thing can interfere. And I went, I said, if it's already talking about how this thing could interfere, I'm just going to go spend the ridiculous money and buy the ones that are made for openers. I'm always kind of bummed that I don't see any of them ever sell LiftMaster ones. Every place I go is always the Genie ones. And I know, from what I understand, LiftMaster has them out there. I swear I've seen them at one of our vendors. But I'm always like, I'm always surprised they're not next to each other. Here's the Genie light bulb, and here's the LiftMaster. This one's 25 cents more, but ours is, but it's always like Genie bulbs are always in there. Probably because they're the GE CEO or something like that. I said, Rusty, I'm not sure what the opener is. It's a job. He says, I'm doing for a family friend, house, brand new. Not sure what opener. Almost most areas Chamberlain, but some new houses here have overhead door. Nice. Eric says, I sent you a video. I need your advice on an old wood door in my shop. Roger that. Roger that. I'll take a look at it. I thought I'd seen something pop up on the phone. Oh, what's Eric got here? It says, we pack the Genie LEDs on our service vehicles. Nice. Eric, do you know how much those things cost? Like cost-wise? I mean, I think they were like $8.99 or something, $9-10 almost at Lowe's. And I know you can get them a little bit. I don't even know if you can get them that much cheaper, honestly. They're just like cost what they cost. But like I said, it's just too far away. It's cheap insurance for me and for Caleb. You know what I mean? I just said, you know what? We're going to put some LED bulbs. I was even hesitant on the ones that were just the GE 4 garage doors because I just, you know, the other one just had more verbiage to it. And I just thought, I don't know. You know, I was like, I don't know. You know, I've had good luck with the ones that we bought from Lowe's. They've worked pretty good. But like I said, they're closer to us. You know, so we stock them, you know, for the affordable door and gate and stuff like that. But for this one, like I said, when I went in to buy my own, I kind of went, I said, I don't know. They changed the packaging. I don't feel comfortable with the situation. I'm out. Because what's funny too is the box that we got. They say they're LEDs with the glass. They're glass on the outside, which is not normal. You know what I mean? So they're glass on the outside. They say they're LEDs. But like I said, the packaging sent to on the back and said it could interfere. And so I seen that. I even had the wife read it. And I said, you read this? I said, is this kind of what I'm thinking? And she's like, yeah. She goes, I probably wouldn't use those. Rusty says, I don't include light bulbs. Just ask customer or tell them to buy non-LED. The non-LED. I know light bulbs are kind of a pain. I'm not gonna lie. So what I was doing for a while to combat some of this a little bit, I was literally opening up the packages of the openers. These were for the Genie. I think I found a way to stuff them in there. And I would stuff a light bulb. I think I only needed one because we had a cheaper unit. And then what I would do is I would take a different color tape instead of clear tape. I'd put blue tape on it. And that worked out pretty good. I would do that, so we knew that opener was basically ready to go. Because I can't remember if those ones. I think we had a couple models for a while there that only came with one remote. And in my brain, what I always do, everything that goes out the door, everything, I don't care. Everything's got 2 remotes, outside keypad. I don't care if there's 4 or 5, 6 doors on that same wall, because I tell you what, I've had a garage that had multiple garage doors that were separate, right? 4 stalls. And I tell you what, I wish I had keypads on every one of them. I know it sounds silly, but after you start doing yard work, you got to get a truck, a tractor, whatever piece of equipment or a snowblower. It's like, you know, God darn it, it would be kind of nice just to have a keypad on this one because there's stuff in the way. So when I go through this garage door, I got to walk around that stuff to get into the bay that I want. Versus if I had a keypad, I know, right? You know how it is, right? The mechanics always drive the crappiest cars. So that's me. You know what I mean? The garage door guy's always got the crappiest stuff. Can't even afford a couple wall buttons or outside keypads, I guess. But anyways, I just always looked at everything as like a package deal. You know what I mean? Light bulbs, everything. Because I got so irritated with customers. I'd be up on the ladder. And I just feel, honestly, you know, this is just my opinion. You know, I'd have customers that were elderly. And you just never know until you get there, right? I'd get there. I realize they don't really have anybody, you know. I mean, I've had family members, elderly women that told me that, you know, they've outlived their kids. And, you know, so it's like, you know, the last thing I want them to do is come out with an old light bulb. And they're like, can you put this in? And I'm like, I can, but I really don't want you to call the secretary or myself, you know, more like it's going to be a secretary. But the problem is, see, like, the secretary is not going to understand what's going to go on. And she's going to be like, it's just better. I just like package deals. it says, I haven't tried them yet, but I remember seeing Chamberlain selling the 60-watt LED bulb at Home Depot. Oh, well, maybe when I go to Home Depot. I don't get to Home Depot that much. I'll look for them. Maybe that would be the kicker. What's Rich B guy? So I've been using, what is it? Is it Fiti brand 60 LEDs from Menards? No issues. That's awesome. Let me take a picture of this just in case. If I take a picture of it, at least I won't lose it. Maybe I'll have to check them out. Like I said, I don't think I've really experienced, like I said, the ones we were using from Lowe's work fine. But like I said, they changed the packaging. I was in a rush. It's a Sunday hustle. You know what I mean? And I was like, God. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be like, Dave, you saved $3 and now this guy's calling, versus now I feel confident and I go, well, you got the best of the best, buddy. You got the best light bulbs and most expensive light bulbs. Obviously, it's your steel building. So we're going to have to figure something out. You know what I mean? So now you're wiring a wire on there and bring it out towards the front. You get kind of lucky. It helps a little bit. You live with it. That house improvement guy makes great videos. I never really watched much of his stuff, but he's got nice long ones, so we're good for live streams. But it looks like he knows what he's doing. It looks like he's got her down. I got no complaints about him. I actually like watching Ken. Ken retired. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Ken. I'll see if I can find him. Yeah, old Ken retired. Dang, this dude's more my style. Look at this. What's he got here? Let's take a look. It's like he went to pick up his garage door. I think it's a Menards. Install from Menards. Nice. Oh, the old fiberglass. Did you see all that light it let in? Oh man, I miss those old fiberglass ones. I may watch Ken later. Like I said, he's a good old boy. It's kind of weird how the camera, he don't like me. He doesn't like the thing. He doesn't like nobody. There's a Menards store for you. I don't like what we pay for them, but we do $10 a bulb. Ones with glass are filament LEDs, and they don't have any shielding, so they give off some bad interference. Okay. I just, when we had the package around the household, and I was like, man, these are glass. I was like, I ain't screwing with that. Glass, it shatters. My luck, I'll put it in my back pocket, sit on it, do something stupid. Yep, there you go. Never had a complaint. He says they weren't provided. It might not be a bad idea. Like I said, I've never had good luck. And see, the thing is too, is I'm kind of programmed, right? I'm programmed old school. So it's like when LiftMaster used to blink, that was almost like my gift from God. You know what I mean? Because what I would do is I'd get that opener, and I liked it for myself too. I like personally seeing it, click and blink. And I would so Rich sent me the Menards bulb. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it. So here's the thing, like I'd had everything all set up, right? And then what I'd do is, I'd bring the customer out. And I really liked it. I really liked it for the female customers. And I would show them, and male, don't really matter, I guess. But I would show them, obviously I would always tell them, right? Because it seemed like, right, we know how this goes. I mean, this is based on my opinion. The opener's failure point is always the safety. Darn near always. Always. And They got garbage cans, you know, how it's rakes, leaves, whatever, man. All, and I loved that I could tell them. The only reason that door opener would ever blink, ever click, right there, you see it with your own two eyes, is these things, right down the ground, the photo eyes. And they look at it and they go, okay, okay. You know, so I was almost like, don't you ever call me, you know, without checking these photo eyes. That's the only reason these things will ever blink or click. Only reason. You know what I mean? And I love that. Like I said, I always loved it because I could literally always hear it in the background when I was talking to a customer and they're like, it's clicking. I'm thinking, okay, well, light bulbs are shot. I mean, I literally just went to a lady, what was it, a week ago or so, and she, both light bulbs were shot. And, you know, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things. Like, we were just getting ready to get in the vehicle and go down to the Ace Hardware and find some light bulbs for her. I did the quick scan through her garage. Obviously, I'm not going to go through anything, but I just did a quick scan to see if I seen a box. She pulled in, and I said, "Hey," I said, "instead of you paying me," I said, "but you got." Yeah. She was a real nice person, lady. She was a realtor, so she's like, "I got stage houses, I got light bulbs," and I'm just like, "Sweet." But I think I did warn her. I did warn her about, you know, interference and problems and some of that stuff with like even her just being a female, whatever. It just kind of was like you could tell it's kind of like going over the head a little bit. Philip fee. Oh, okay, so it's fee. If that helps, heck yeah, it helps. I think they make the bulbs for Genie. That's an interesting one, Eric. So here's my little take. I don't know. I might have just dreamed this, right? I was told at one time, I thought that the CEO of Genie, or not, sorry, Genie, but of GE light bulbs, either quit, got fired, resigned, whatever, and he went over to be the CEO of Genie garage door openers. And so since he used to be GE light bulbs CEO, and now he's Genie garage door openers, he basically, it was really easy for him, but he designed, or not, I don't know if he personally did, but he brought the light bulb over to Genie. And maybe that's why Genie seemed like they kind of had him the first, right? I'm assuming, unless somebody can tell me otherwise, but they always had the first because when I was going to seminars, that was always a joke. They were handing them to you, throwing them to you, short-handed in a sense, so they drop, and you're like, you know, oh my gosh, you know, like you're waiting for it to explode in front of everybody, like a normal light bulb, and they'd be like, ha ha ha, I got you. Here, you keep this one. Give it a try when you get home. You know, so I don't know if that's valid, but so that's why it makes me. I was trying to look on the packaging. Like I was like, all right, it says on here somewhere. Now I didn't scan it real good. I just did kind of a 3/4 scan on it to see, but I was looking for something on there that I was like, they have to identify on here somewhere where this comes from. It's going to say GE on here somewhere. Why would I buy this? I can buy this. That was like $2 cheaper. But I was in a rush, and so I just said, you know what? I said, I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. So I'll just get the Genie ones. They're supposedly, you know, the best of the best. It'd be cool to find somebody's got a video out there that shows all that stuff, you know, how it's broke down, the frequency it's emitting. So I gotta put up your video. What you got? You gotta put up your video, some pictures on the stream. You can also give advice. I don't know if I got yours on here. We'll do it. We'll do it for sure. We'll do that. Maybe another one when we get a live one going. Like I said, I probably won't stand there too much longer. Kind of quiet. You know, also, you know, like I said, it's getting kind of late, right? If I gotta get up, go to work. What's it got here? Eric's guys. Maybe it was G. and not feed? I don't know. Like I said, if you find out, let me know. Somebody out there knows. And that's why when I bought the ones that were the GE from Lowe's, I kind of was like, yeah, they just rebrand this thing. It's the same. You know what I mean? But it might not be. I don't know for sure. I just know when I hear about these stories, they scare me. The problems they have. But anywho, think I'm gonna jump off here. We went through a little bit of stuff tonight. You guys come across Fiat. I love it. But thanks you guys for being here. I'm gonna head out. Definitely a little sleepy. It's time to shut the eyes and get some rest. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Well, it's actually morning, so we probably should go somewhere. Let's go to Big Boys or something. Get something to eat. Get some coffee. Sounds good. Eric, you have a good night as well. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for everybody else, Rich and Rusty and Evan. It's always fun. And if I forgot you, I'm so sorry. Andy was here tonight too, so we can't forget that. Otherwise, you guys take care. We'll see you on the next one. Maybe. I might just stay here. Can't turn it off. We'll be done.